Okay, so we are at the final sequence of this game. Oh, that's new. I'll watch that. So after this, the game should be done. Unless I'm in for more of a surprise and it's actually longer than this, which would be a very big surprise. Oh, hi, chick. What's number 5? Oh, grenades. God damn it. Get away! Okay, before we move on any further, I want to see if there's anything stronger than what I have. Nope, strong alloy is the strongest physical defense I can get. Okay. Is it 7? 7. Get away! Get away! Whew! Man. Save up. Another one of these assholes. Ouch. Those guys are tough.
So, we're just going to enter this office, and everything will be taken care of?
I do hope everything will
Pretty
be taken
much.
care of, but I'd rather you stayed here. It'd be better if I just go with honor.
You think there could still be trouble? I can defend myself, you know. And that man, I don't know if you can really trust him.
Mary, yes, I'm worried for you, and I don't completely trust the man either. But it's because I don't want to involve you in all of this that I'd rather you stayed here. Please.
Roy, be careful. You're all I have, and I don't want to lose you.
I'll be careful, I promise. I'll be back soon.
Honor and a technomancer. You said you hated them. Not that it really matters. I suppose I was sure you'd end up finding out and coming here full of righteous anger. You betrayed Aurora, its people, and its ideals. You betrayed us all, and you even betrayed yourself. The people were everything for you, but you let the technomancers do the unspeakable. Why? To be cured? You're not just afflicted, Wisdom. You gave in to madness solely to save your life and your power. Because you and your honor are beyond its call? The truth, my friend, is that you are like all the others. The only thing you see is the mutation, and it disgusts you. And yet, am I not a hero? Have you forgotten our battles and our victories? Did you know that when I returned from Green Hope, I discovered I had patches of diseased flesh? What was I to do? At the time, I thought only of the Guild. Without my ability to unite the Technomancers and the Militia, Abundance would have won. And that made me afraid. Can you truly blame me for this? You risked letting Aurora fall to pieces to save yourself. You ruined everything for that. What would happen if news of your condition got out? If everyone found out you're a mutant? Yes, you disgust me. But not for the reasons you think. You're going to die, Wisdom. But no one will know of your secret. For Aurora. Goodbye.
I expected it.
Roy. I'm sorry. I didn't think he would dare admit to why he did what he did. I don't have a choice now, if I want to keep this a secret.
Before you go and do something stupid, I suggest you think twice. I've been keeping a diary, a habit I picked up from a young man who sees more clearly than people think. I gave the diary to people who won't hesitate for a second to make it public if anything happens to me or my friends. Be kind of a shame if some of your secrets saw the light of day, so I suggest you let us go. I guess the whole idea behind all of this was always to gain power. You just needed a good excuse. But believe me, I'm not remotely interested in your political dealings. You killed your friend. Now let me go meet up with mine. That's all I'm asking for.
You got 2 guns?
Go, Roy. Go quickly. Go far and never come back. I'll respect our agreement. Goodbye.
Okay, cool. No final boss. Woo! So he still had it with him.
And there you have it. In the name of my guild, I've committed sabotage, spied, even killed. For the sake of a man obsessed with his vision of glory, of honor, and power. We managed to stop the technomancers. They're now gathered in the source, watched closely, made into a living weapon. I imagine our beloved general would have liked to shut me in there too, but through our agreement I have remained free, and I intend to stay that way. He would have also liked to put Mary there, but that was out of the question, of course. Mary is still with me, and whatever the future holds for us, we'll meet it together. Tenacity saw the threats as well. The general seemed to be suspicious of everyone who was too close to me. He's preparing to leave Shadowlair and go back to his life of wandering. I have to say that the general has started a cleansing campaign, and all the criminals and people a bit suspect are systematically arrested. He'll rebuild Aurora according to his vision. Oddly enough, I have the impression that our guild is going to start to resemble Abundance, more aggressive, a police state. That should make Devotion happy. Stubborn and apparently faithful as she is, she continues to serve the general through clenched teeth. Poor girl. He'll definitely need her. One thing's for sure, Abundance is nowhere near ready to give up, and the Resistance, even though they're being hunted, is still growling in the city slums. Aurora should be able to face anything with a man like that leading it. As for me, because we've got to leave the capital, we've decided to join Innocence. He'll probably be angry with me at first for betraying his ideals, but I'll give him his diary, and maybe if he reads it, he'll understand why I did what I did. And thus ends my contribution to Innocence's war diary. Up to him to decide if he wants to continue it or not.
Okay. Wow. That was surprisingly a really great game. So, thank you everybody for following and watching this playthrough. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I was not expecting this game to be as good as it was. So, I would like to say thank you, and I will see you guys in another playthrough. Alright, so from this moment on, I'm going to be talking about my feelings about the game. So if you want to listen, stay. If not, then I'll see you next time, like I said. Okay, so let's start with the very beginning, of course. Is, as always, the graphics of this game is not the best in the world. However, it's also not the worst in the world. They did it right, I would say. You know, it obviously was lacking in texture. It wasn't the best. However, the way they did it made it not so much important, since everything was kind of like reddish gray as a representation of Mars, I guess. So the graphic is okay, is presentable. The sound is also decent. Some of the voice acting is quite atrocious. However, the main characters and basically all of your companions' voice acting is good, is bearable. Especially Mary, I love her voice. She sounds so extraordinarily cute. And let's see, there was quite a lot of voice actors in there too. I was surprised. I didn't hear any repeats of voices, so it was good of them to do that. And the sound effects in the game is also pretty decent. The gun sound could have been better, but it's not actually a gun. It's like, what, a nail thing that shoots nails. So it's not really a gun. So I get why it sounds like that. The lightning could have been a little bit better. So the sound quality is average. It's not like the best. I feel like it could have been a lot better. But that's all there is to credits. That's also really, really awesome. Okay. Well, let me finish up the thought here, and that is, let's see. Crap! I lost my train of thought. So we did graphics, sound, story. Duh. Okay, so let's go with the story. The story at first wasn't that exciting. Okay, and it wasn't something that would grab you at the very beginning of the game. However, I think what got me the most is basically your Innocence, your very first companion that you get. he is interesting enough so that I would want to play the game to continue to find out what his story was. So it's not really much the overall story that grabbed me. It was basically Innocence's story on why he was there in the first place. So yeah, that part of it grabbed me. But the main overall story isn't quite solid. From what I understand, it was just you trying to survive, and then you got grabbed in this mess that is between Aurora and the citizens, and Aurora and Honor, and one side is trying to free everyone, and while the other is trying to take control. Obviously, in this part of the playthrough here is I went with a Honor instead of the Resistance side, because I knew he was going to take control of power, but I also knew that he was going to get it done. And like the Resistance, to where they don't know what they're doing most of the time, they just wander about doing what they think is best. So that isn't something that I want to do in this playthrough. So of course I'm going to play the Resistance side. So we'll get to see what that is. And the gameplay. Gameplay of this game is quite interesting. At the very beginning, probably most likely a third of the beginning of the game. Not a third. A third of the game, which is the very beginning sequence when you're still at the Camp 19. Is mostly close combat gameplay with your gun, minus the guns, of course. Even if you include it, you don't use the gun that much until the very end of Camp 19. So the game consists of mostly of melee combat. If I didn't have unlimited fluids, then yes, it would most likely also have been just melee combat most of the time, because you would not have enough fluids. It's a mana basically. To actually spam Force Lightning and Force Push, basically, whatever it is called. So yeah, more onto that is that the melee combat is decent if you're facing against 1, 2, maybe even 3 enemies. However, if you are facing any more than that, or even if you're facing just 3 enemies and you're getting chain hit, you're going to be continuously stunned. So the group fights in this game are not the best in the world, especially when you don't have a lot of AoE stuff, minus from your grenade and your shockwave ability. So, the combat could have used a little bit more polish and work, especially with the stun lock that you can possibly put yourself in when you're surrounded by a lot of enemies. And I would also say that the lightning, the Technomancer abilities could have added a little bit more flair to it. 2 damaging abilities and 2 defensive abilities isn't that great. They could have put in a little bit more effort into having a diverse amount of abilities. But for what it was, I think it was a pretty decent average. Actually, I think it's slightly above average combat style. It is, in my opinion, slightly repetitive, only because I have unlimited fluids and all I did was spam electricity. And even if I didn't have that, one would think that most of the time you're going to be in close combat, so it could get repetitive really fast when you're playing this game for the combat. So overall, I think the game is a very decent game for 20 bucks, and I was not expecting it to be a decent game. When I first got it, I was like, okay, it's an RPG. I haven't played an RPG since like 3 to 4 months, so I wanted an RPG experience. So I got it, and I was in for a surprise on how good it was. Maybe because I started off having a very low expectation of this game, and I was surprised. Maybe that's the case, but I also say that the game also has its merits and also did it pretty well. So in my final score for this game, it is not absolutely amazing, yet it's above average in my opinion. So I would actually give it a solid 7 out of 10. Okay, it is a lot better than I would say a lot of AAA game that has come out recently, like God of War Ascension or Gears of War, whatever Judgment, whatever it's called. Those two games was just terrible. Okay, sadly, I can't record my PS3 gameplays because I don't have anything to record that with. So I did play those two, and it was awful. They were so boring. They were so generic. Even though they had better combat mechanic and all, it's just the repetition of the previous games and the bland story that both of them had, which is actually very sad to see that I would consider what I would consider a AAA title to be outdone by Mars Warlogs, which is an indie game. So, if you are interested in this type of game and you don't mind the combat system or the graphics, then I would suggest you pick it up and play it. It is actually quite decent for what it is. So there you go. That is my thought on the game. Once again, I give it a solid 7 out of 10. And if you have been listening, I hope it helps you in deciding if you want Mars Warlogs or not. And I will see you guys next time on another playthrough. So thank you for listening and watching, and I hope you enjoy the playthrough. Bye.